Здравствуйте, Андрей Пеньков is Canva Defense Review. Today we start Russian news first, then we come to English. Сегодня новости на русском. Китай развернул на Северном театре ракетные установки дальнего действия. 78-я армейская группа Северного театра развернула ракеты дальнего действия тип Но-3. А это тип Но-3 ракет. Они принадлежат к артиллерийской бригаде штаба, который находится в городе Спинь, провинция Jilin. Здесь штаб артиллерии бригады штаб. Китайская армия развертывает ракеты тип Но-3 с дальностью действия 150 километров в большей количестве артиллерийских бригад. Один дивизион оснащен 12 ракетами. Ракетная установка тип является имитацией ракетной установки «Смерч». А это «Смерч». А это китайский «Смерч». Китай экспортировал тип Но-3 в Марокко и Эфиопия и другие африканские страны. Традиционно в 100 километров от границы расположены различные важные российские военные базы. Например, здесь стратегическая авиабаза Украинка находится всего в только 100 километров от границы, где дислоцируются стратегические бомбардировщики Тубрев 95 1, 2, 3. Военный порт Владивосток находится в 60 километрах от границы тоже. Ракет типа Но-3 могут атаковать эти важные объекты. 78-я армия развернула большое количество новых вооружений, в том числе новый основной боевой танк 99G. Это новый танк. Сегодня новости. English time now. Today we discuss about China-India border confrontation since last year. It's in chronic crisis. Since June 2020, the tension on the China-Indian border has become a chronic crisis. I think this crisis will become protracted and chronic. After this spring, after the ice and the snow on the mountains melt, the two sides will face off again, and the possibility of recurring skirmishes is not ruled out. On June 15 last year, there was a bloody clash between the two sides. 20 Indian soldiers were killed and 76 were injured. This is a very big loss. How many deaths did China have? I think repeatedly. If I review it here, it will surprise everyone. The verification method is very simple. Check the cemetery, please. The cemetery is here, near the border. After the conflict with India in 1962, all the dead Chinese soldiers were buried in several cemeteries in the border area, including here, mainly. The reason for the heavy casualties of the Indian army is simple. First, the Chinese side had been preparing and ambushed. Second, Chinese side had a geographical advantage on the top of the mountain, and there was a moon on June 15. They chose the day carefully. There was a moon, and the ambushing party could carefully observe the Indian soldiers climbing the mountain. Third, I speculate, Chinese side was most likely equipped with night vision equipment because a large number of Indian soldiers were pushed down to the river, valley, deep valley, but the Chinese soldiers did not fall into the river or the valley. The entire conflict process resembles the conflict on the Damansky Island on the border between China and the Soviet Union in 1969. Chinese soldiers set up an ambush, then suddenly fired the shots. Prior to this, the Chinese army had organized 28 death fighters and had entered the ambush the day before. They later testified on the TV interview in Hong Kong TV station. According to it, Chinese battle hero took the lead in firing 3 consecutive shots. Not 1, 3. In the propaganda war, China always accused the Soviet soldiers of firing first. If we look at the satellite image, it is not difficult to conclude that the June 15 bloodshed was deliberately prepared. The tension between the two sides on the western border began on last year, May 5th. Please see the satellite image on June 14, only 1 day before the bloodshed. 1 day only. See massive development of Chinese troops in the front border. I think this is tanks. This is artillery. Those are also tanks. Tanks. Those are heavy artillery. This is tanks also. Those are the infantry troops. Obviously, China had stationed mechanized force of more than 1 division on the front line of the border area. including tanks and heavy artillery. On the other hand, India did not have a large number of troops stationed in the border area. Also in last June, I reported the news that the Western Theater of Chinese Army was likely to be in a second level combat readiness. Why I did think so? See this picture taken on June 28. This is a JH-7A attacker. 1, 2, 3 attackers stationed at Kash Airport. Please note, the JH-7A here were in a state of being fully loaded. See here, it's fully loaded. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 6 in total. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Apparently, air-to-surface missiles and bombs were mounted. According to the regulations of the Chinese Air Force, once the troops are in a state of secondary combat readiness, fighters and bombers are in a state where they can be taken off at any time. In the future, what about the future outlook? No room for optimism. Because from last year to the recent, China has completely built various new military bases in the border areas. Especially Hetian and Kash airports are undergoing renovation and expansion. This is one J-20. Here we can see a J-20 fighter deployed last year, most likely just for adaptive training. A large number of new hangars are being built in Hetian also. This is J-11B in Hetian. This is a new building. I do think this is hangars for new planes, as well as a new surface-to-air missile positions. In the border area, China is still building a large number of road surveillance posts and heliports. This is Kash Airport, also under renovation. The new hangar for aircrafts. The front line border built more helicopter ports here. And the road, 1, 2 helicopter ports. This is the news today. Please continue to watch us every 10 days. Thank you very much. 日本語の時間です。先ほど英語のプログラムでは中国とインドの国境問題が慢性的な危機に瀕していることを説明しました。中国側は昨年の6月15日に起こった流血紛争の前に多くの準備をしていたと考えられます。これまで国境地域の軍事基地は拡大され、新しい部隊が配備されています。チベット軍管区と新疆ウイグル自治区には昨年多くの新しい装備も配備されました。新しいタイプの地対空ミサイル HQ-16B、タイプ15戦車などが含まれます。一方、東側では中国と台湾の関係が悪化し続けています。戦闘機や偵察機はほぼ毎日台湾の南西 航空識別圏に入っています。南シナ海ではアメリカとの対立が激化しています。尖閣諸島をめぐる日本との緊張も緩和されておらず、中国の海上警察船がこの地域の海域で頻繁に出没しています。なぜ中国は東西両方で同時に挑発行動を起こしているのでしょうか。東西両方。全体の状況は1962年によく似ていると思います。当時、西ではインドとの戦争、北はソビエト連邦との論戦が始まっていました。そして台湾海峡では頻繁な軍事衝突。台湾の背後には相変わらずアメリカがいました。中国は自分でこの反中合唱団反華大合唱を創設したと言えると思います。なぜですか。私の歴史判断では、中国は東西で同時に紛争を引き起こした場合、それは国内のトラブルと権力闘争が非常に激化していることを意味するということです。1962年、大飢饉と完全な経済崩壊があり、毛沢東は劉少奇を追い払おうとしていました。現在に目を移すと、昨年から武漢肺炎が発生し始め、来年は第20回共産党大会が開かれます。つまり国内の問題から目をそらすために、外部世界との緊張の高まりを必要としているのでしょうか。かなり北朝鮮に似ています。瀬戸際政策です。私は来年の党大会の前には、中国とインド、中国と台湾、そして日本との間でさえ、再び関係が緊迫するような事態が起こる可能性を排除しません。今週のニュースです。来週までよろしくお願いします。ありがとうございます。